Hi everybody, Michael Metz here. Welcome back for another review of an S Mute. Today we are going to talk about the Salt Shaker Deluxe S Mute. Kind of cool looking, right? You can see it's a little on the small side, but there are some unique features to the S Mute. Let's talk about the S Mute. The website, I'll put it down below. It's s-mute.com. The proprietor of the smute.com webpage is Nathan Soboralski. Nathan is the principal trumpet player for the Sequoia Symphony in California. He's also a trumpet instructor at CSU in Fresno, and he likes to call himself a general tinkerer. The idea for most of his mutes came during the COVID-19 pandemic, just like a lot of things happened during the pandemic. Anyway, Nathan says that he got himself a 3D printer and he was messing around with the 3D printer and thought about what would I do if I could print some mutes. And he did some thinking and did some printing and sent them out for people to try and came up with his original design. And then now is in his second generation of designs. He's able to make them faster. He's able to make them a lot less expensive. Again, these are 3D printed mutes. This isn't the first 3D printed mute that I own, and it probably won't be my last. And this isn't my first mute that I have gotten from S Mute. So I did a review already on my Pixie Cut Mute. So if you haven't already found that one, I suggest you look that up. And I am a big fan of the Pixie Straight Mute. The Pixie Straight Mute is a great mute. It works great with a wah-wah. I'll show it to you a little bit later, but this isn't what I'm reviewing. I'm actually reviewing the Salt Shaker Deluxe. So some unique things if you're not already aware of S Mute. One of the things that is really, really cool is that it has an adjustable cork system. So see how it just comes right off? Pretty cool. These corks, when you get the mute, you'll get a set of corks. Normally you'll get the 0.5, the 1, and the 1.5. That's what you know. And they come bigger sizes. They come all the way up to a size 3. So if you have a nice big bell horn, you can always adjust it. And you know, I like the idea of the adjustable cork because it's designed to fit my trumpet. I can adjust it down to the 1.5 all the way up to a 2 to a 2.5. I just so happens that I have the 1s. So as you can see, I put that in there, I slide it on, and it clicks. Kind of cool. I like the feature. Another good feature about the Salt Shaker Deluxe model is that the whole bottom screws off. Okay, there's the inside of the mute, by the way. The whole bottom screws off, and you'll see it has this padding here. The padding is easily removed. I use a little teeny screwdriver, and it comes right off. The padding is designed to fit over the top of the actual salt shaker, and it changes the sound. It really does. It changes the sound completely. And to put it back in, you put it over the top, and it literally pushes in without any kind of an issue. Kind of have to force it there on the corners and see it's boom, it's in. And it goes on. You kind of have to go backwards to get it lined up and then go forward and then screw it on. All right. So this is the Salt Shaker Deluxe S Mute. And I will proceed to play it for you here in a little bit so you get to hear what the sound is. I like them because they're very, very, very light. They're easy to carry around, and they get it. I like the sound for my jazz work. For one of the particular venues that we play, we have people that are right on top of us. It's actually a little teeny tiny speakeasy here in Albuquerque. And I mean, I can play quiet and I can play controlled, but I also like the fact that I can use a mute there. I've been switching back and forth between my Pixie Cut Mute and this Salt Shaker Mute, and actually I've been playing this Pixie Straight Mute quite a bit too when we play there, and it's kind of nice to be able to play with a nice good full sound but still not have anyone think that we're overwhelming them. What else can I tell you about the mutes? They're not expensive, about $50, about $35. This one's also about $50. And when I play at the speakeasy, I bring all three. I'll go ahead and flip the camera around and I'll do some playing for you so you know what you're getting into if you decide that you're interested in purchasing one of these wonderful mutes. All right, so I've got everything flipped around so you can have a good idea of what these mutes are going to sound like. First off, I'd like to go ahead and play the Deluxe Salt Shaker Mute for you, and I'm going to play it with the pad inserted on the end, and then I'll switch that out and take the pad out, just so you hear a difference. Now, I'm letting you know that I have the 1 corks on my mute. And you can hear it changes the sound quite a bit. It mutes it. It makes it kind of, I don't know what you could say, maybe more bucket mute style. Would that be a good way to put it? Maybe it sounds like a bucket mute. So I took off the end, and I'm going to pop out the pad, and I'm going to screw it back on. Again, to get it on easily, I have a tendency to go backwards and get the threads all lined up, and then go ahead and make it nice and tight. So without the pad in it, it does not mute it as much. So taking off the end, putting the mute down so I don't drop it. Seem to have butterfingers today. And I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to put the padding back in. I actually like the sound with the padding. Of course, typical trumpet players, we all can decide for ourselves what we want to use. Everybody has a different preference on sound. Now, I will give you a good idea of what these sound like with a different set of corks on there. So the corks that I have on, just so you can see how easy it is to change it, the corks I have on here are the ones. Pop, goes off, just kind of pull up on it. There we go. Comes back. And now I'm going to put in the 1.5s. Just so you can see how easy it is. Now, is this something that you're going to do at a gig? I seriously doubt that. This is something that you need to sit down at home and you need to figure out what sound you want, what sound that you like coming out of that instrument, what sound is it that the mutes is giving you, so that you know what size cork to use. Okay, so I swapped it out from the 1 to the 1.5. And here, now you can hear what it sounds even different. So you can hear it changed the sound quite a bit. I actually like it with the 1.5 versus the ones. So just for good measure, I'm going to put the ones on the convenient holder. See? Put that to the side. You can also use this mute as a Pixie with a wah-wah. See, so that also I thought sounded pretty cool. And just so you give a reference point, what the difference is between that mute and the Pixie Straight Mute, what the difference in the sound is. So now you hear what the difference is. So that gives you a reference. Again, so here's a straight mute sound. Here's the Deluxe Shaker Mute. So you have another reference point. Here's a cut mute. And we'll kind of, this is my Dennis Wick cut mute. So, trying to give you an idea of what it sounds like, because it's a different sound. You can see the Deluxe Shaker Mute's got a different sound. You can say maybe it's a bucket mute. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I'll just go get my bucket mute and we can compare the sound. I love the sound of a bucket mute, but boy, are they a pain in the butt to try to get on and off, especially fast in a jazz ensemble. Let's open it up a notch. Okay, so that's a bucket mute. Now you know what the bucket mute sounds like. Let's compare it to the Deluxe Shaker Mute. gives you a really, really good idea of what the Pixie Salt Shaker Mute sounds like. So, you've had a chance to listen to what the Deluxe Salt Shaker Mute sounds like. Again, it's got all these wonderful holes on the bottom. I've left the padding, the batting, whatever you want to call it, in there, and I like the sound it gets. It almost sounds very much like my closed bucket mute. And you know, that's kind of cool. By the way, for those of you who are interested, that magnet on the end makes this store really, really easy. How many times have you put it on your trumpet stand and had it fall off? Makes life so much easier because it just attaches to the stand and sits there. Anyway, that is the Pixie Straight Mute. Great for with a wah-wah mute. So this is the Salt Shaker Deluxe. Almost the size of a Pixie Mute. This is the S-Mute Pixie Cup Mute. You've heard what they sound like. I like them. I think they're great mutes. I find that they're great for jazz, especially playing solo. Would I play them in an orchestra? I would have to see, or a concert band, or even a jazz band. I'd have to see what everyone else is playing to see if I can get them to match. But for solo work, I think they're awesome products. Again, it's s-mute.com. The proprietor is Nathan Sobralski. And I want to thank Nathan for helping me out and sending me the mutes after I purchased them from him. They were sent extremely fast, and I'm very, very happy with my mutes. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We'll talk to you next time.